Hey guys, so I am back with Sector 2 for this Conquest, for Conquest 22, where we're trying to earn the Scythe. And this is just kind of what I'm doing, going through this sector on both my account and Professor X. It's going to be really interesting, to be honest, because I'm getting completely different discs on both of the accounts. So some strategies are working on the Professor X account really well, which is great because I'm able to use those weaker characters and really show you it. And others are not working for me on my own account because I'm not having the same disc luck. So I'll get into that a little bit once we pop in. But before we go into Sector 2, I do want to flag another bug that is out there. If you are not in Sector 3 yet, I highly suggest getting there as quickly as possible. The Master's Training feat, so you have to grant the Master's Training buff 50 times in Sector 3, and you can only do that with Hermit Yoda. Right now it is bugged, so if you grant it once, it actually gives you credit for 7 times. So I highly suggest getting there as soon as possible to bang that out before they fix it. I don't know if they're going to fix it during Conquest or if they're going to wait until after the fact. They seem to pick and choose when they fix these bugs. So if you can get there as quickly as possible and get it done before you have to do the 50, all the power to you. I would highly recommend, I'll show you this tomorrow in my next Conquest video, but I would highly recommend using a full Jedi team so you can double dip on the global feat. If you can take General Kenobi and get kills, even better. Add Grandmaster Yoda so you can work on Foresight at the same time, but definitely work on that Master's Training feat. Just keep in mind you don't want to apply Master's Training to the same character because apparently that's not counting. You want to apply it to, if you do get to a chance to apply it more than once, you want to apply it to a character that doesn't already have it. So just keep that in mind, but you will get 7 per application. So you'll be able to get through that really quickly at most. I'm trying to do quick math and I can't, unfortunately. Like 9 battles, maybe 8? I don't know. I can't do math, guys. So that's that. I want to hop in though, and I want to show you these feats for Sector 2, because Sector 2 is pretty straightforward, to be honest with you. So there's not a lot of craziness going on. So the first one, you can see I already got it done, is score at least 200 critical hits. This one, to be honest with you, I'm not going to go over a specific team on this one. You're going to do this naturally when you go through the sector, okay? You're going to get there. I wouldn't even worry about it. You have to gain defense up 40 times, so you know which one I'm going to show you there. I am going to show you that on the Professor X account. On my account, I am doing it naturally as I make my way through, so totally different strategies. Gain health steal up 20 times. This is also a really fun feat. You can do this in one battle as well. It is tons of fun, and I'll show you that. And then defeat 50 enemies with inquisitorius units. So I do have this on my account and on Professor X's. I really wanted to show you it on both because it's not really fair of me to only show you mine when I have Relic 5 Inquisitors. So I wanted to show you two accounts' points of view, and we will get into that right now. All right, guys. So the first team I want to show you, or the first feat I want to show you, is defense up. If you are new to my channel, what you should know about me is I really love using this exact team for defense up every single time it's in Conquest. It does not matter what your discs are. It doesn't matter what your gear level is, but it will get you the feat really easily. You're not going to win, but you'll get the feat really easily, and you can carry on with your day. So you want Clone Wars Chewie lead because his leadership gives defense up, and then you just surround him with a bunch of tanks. He's going to give the defense up to the tanks. So like I said, you don't, unless you have a really, really strong Clone Wars Chewie, you're probably not going to win with this. But your tanks are just going to get defense up as the battle goes on. So I went against this Starkiller team. I haven't particularly noticed a difference when I go against different teams in terms of how well it's working. This is in particular on the Professor X account. So not that his characters are weaker, but some of these characters have more relic levels on my own account in terms of the tanks. But pretty much I would use the exact same tanks on my own account as well. And you just kind of let them die off. You can see they're getting the buff. And once it's done, you usually can get all 40 in one fight. I think the lowest I've gotten before in a fight is 30 or 35, I want to say. So at worst case, you're doing it in 2 fights. But it's over and you don't have to think about it. And so we just did them all in 1 fight here. Super straightforward. The next one I want to show you is Health Steal Up. So this is actually tons of fun. So you can do this if you find a Grievous team and you steal it off of him with Yoda. It's actually a lot faster to do it this way. So you're going to take Emperor Palpatine lead. And I like to take Mara Jade, couple of other empires with him, Thrawn in particular, and then Grandmaster Yoda. You want Thrawn for the turn meter swap. But essentially all you're going to do here is feed yourself turn meter between Palpatine and Mara, just because of his leadership. It's absolutely ridiculous. And Mara is going to remove all the turn meter from the enemies, so you can just kind of keep taking turns because of the stagger that she has there. So Palpatine's second special there is the Health Steal Up. So you get 5 right off the bat because it goes to your entire team. And all I did was try to prolong the battle, essentially. I didn't want to kill anyone. So Health Steal Up again, there's another 5. I didn't want to kill Daka in particular. I wanted her to keep reviving the Night Sisters if I did kill them. I wanted to keep, and then I killed Daka, so that was poor. But I wanted to keep removing the turn meter, stop them from taking turns, and just kind of keep giving Palpatine turns here. Eventually, Thrawn will hopefully get to take a turn. So Palpatine's going to do Health Steal. He should have done Health Steal Up again. And eventually, we can turn meter swap here to Grandmaster Yoda. He has Health Steal Up, so we can spread the buffs, and everyone gets Health Steal Up again. Palpatine does it again there. Even though they already have it, it counts. So again, you're trying to get 20 in this sector. We won. We 3-starred the node, which is great. You can move forward. And we got all 20 in 1 fight. So we don't even need to worry about this feat the rest of the sector, which is beautiful. And that was on my own account, just for reference. Okay. This is the Inquisitor Kills, 50 Inquisitor Kills on my account. So I don't feel totally awesome showing you it on my account because my Inquisitors are relicked. I also don't have the best discs on my account. It is a little bit painful. I really wanted Zealous Ambition. I haven't found any Zealous Ambition, so it is a little bit tricky. And I also don't have the best nodes to do this strategy against. If you can find a Geonosian node, it's going to work way better. But the idea was to have Darth Traya so that they could hopefully kill themselves off whenever they take their turns, attack out of turn, anything like that. Have Watt there to put the tank tech on Jedi Master Luke. And then I wanted to use 5th Brother because he's got an AoE, and 7th Sister because she will assist him to try to get the kills. If you have Zealous Ambition discs equipped, 5th Brother and 7th Sister are support and healer characters. Let me just speed this up for you because it's going to be a minute. Okay, guys, sorry. So if you have them, they are support and healers, like I was saying, which means the Zealous Ambition discs are going to work really nicely with them because they'll hit a lot harder. So you can see my guys are Relic 5. They are surviving, which is great. They're just not doing a whole ton of damage. I did not remod for this. I just really wanted to try to have them get the kills. Again, I really wanted a Geonosian node for this in particular. I think it will also work a little bit better with an Emperor Palpatine lead in terms of feeding turn meter to them with the debuffs. So I might try that instead for the kills. But it is doable. It's just going to be grindy, which I don't love. I don't love telling you that it's going to be grindy. They do get them. The downside with this as well is Traya is also a support. So she is doing a ton of damage based off of her health pool as well. So she kind of can eat into your Inquisitor kills if she happens to get some herself. But so again, this was on my account, super straightforward. I believe we ended with 2. We can just fast forward a little bit more to the end here. Overall, though, the strategy is pretty much the same across the board. You just really want the Inquisitors to land the kills. I didn't want to use a full Inquisitor team, to be honest, because I know like I could probably do it on my account. Again, they're all Relic 5. It just doesn't seem fair to just show you that because not everyone has Relic 5 Inquisitors, right? So that's pretty straightforward. Again, my account, I think I ended with 2, if I'm remembering correctly. So it is going to be a little bit of a grind if you're trying to cheese it in a way. And obviously, if you don't win, then you get some more. You're not eating into your stamina. So this is on the Professor X account against a Phoenix node. So we're also sitting at 0 here. I'm going to use the same team because I want you to see the difference just in terms of damage output. So same kind of strategy with Traya lead. However, this account has 3 Zealous Ambition discs equipped on it. So 5th Brother and 7th Sister are hitting significantly harder than what they should be doing because of those discs being equipped. And you can see that they are lower geared. So we have gear 9 and gear 10. Gear 11, sorry. Oh, sorry, they're both gear 11. So they are weaker, but because of that Zealous Ambition, they are going to hit a little bit harder. And again, with Zealous Ambition there, Traya is also a support, so you want to watch out for that because she is going to possibly take some of your kills here. So you can see, obviously, that 7th Sister is halfway out the door already. So this is a little bit dicey. I think this would work nicer on a Phoenix node if you had a Phoenix node that didn't have Sabine, because she obviously has the AoE, so that's the scary part. But overall, I still think Geos is going to be the best node for this if you're trying to do a Traya lead in terms of making them deplete their own health. They are doing it slightly, just not as much as I would have liked. So we're going to keep them alive, though, and just AoE and try and get as much ability block out there, basically, to control them, and also just try and get the kills with the Inquisitors here and try and cheese this a bit. So let's speed this up because it's pretty much the same. So pretty straightforward. I'm rotating the characters of who I attack because I don't want to accidentally kill someone and steal a kill like that. Again, Traya is a support, so she is going to do that if you do use these discs in particular with her. But Cannon is looking pretty optimal there to die. And if we can just get 5th Brother a turn here, he should be able to get the kill. And then eventually we will just slowly make our way through the rest of this. So you don't time out with the Zealous Ambition. I mean, you can if you leave one opponent standing at the very end. I chose not to. I just wanted to see how many kills we would get or if they would eventually just die off from dots or anything like that. So that is that. Again, not the best enemy nodes to go against, but it will work, which is what counts. So 2, it is going to be a grind, but it's able to be done. Okay. Let's look at the mini boss. So you have to win, obviously no Jedi, no Sith, no line-aligned Force users. And then we also have to win with Asajj surviving. So this is, again, on the mini boss in particular. Because Asajj is a unaligned Force user, you can't double dip this boss. You have to do it twice if you're going to get both feats. You can't get them in one shot. So for no Jedi, Sith, etc., I do like using the clone troopers with Chewie, especially now that Bam Han, etc. doesn't work as effectively without Amplify Agony. You can also do Grievous droids. That would work really well for these feats in particular, and they are a ton of fun. Okay, but pretty straightforward, guys. You just have to go and kill them off, essentially. Get them down to... They're basically all bounty hunters, these weird-looking bounty hunters, and they've got this buff that gives them the 9 Thrill of the Hunt buff, so you need to get rid of all of those before you can actually kill that character off entirely. So Pretty straightforward though. I really, really like clones with Chewie. I just feel like he gives them like a little bit of extra protection, and then you're able to really make sure you can go through it. And then the other great thing is if you do have zealous ambition, Echo is a support character, so he's going to be doing a lot more damage as well with those zealous ambition discs equipped, which is a ton of fun to see him just kind of have people keel over. All right, so that is 1 and 1 feat, because again, we can't double dip since Asajj is a Force user. So next we'll do the mini boss again, and we're going to do the Asajj feat now. So this is on my account. That last one was on Professor X. This one is on mine. And we're going to try, or no, excuse me, the last one was on mine. This one is on Professor X because he does have the Zealous Ambition discs equipped, which is why we're going to do Bam Han, Chewie, and Dash with her. Because Dash's AoE is going to do so much more damage with those Zealous Ambition discs equipped since he is support. He is a ton of fun with these discs. Like, I would highly recommend, if you have him, to get these discs and use him to just power through a lot of these feats and a lot of these nodes, because he just absolutely does so much damage. And then the really good thing I also like about this team is you can control them a little bit in terms of stuns, but you can also control them with the turn meter removal from Han, which makes it a lot nicer if you're trying to keep somebody alive. If you can just stop them from even taking their turns, then you're kind of coming out a little bit of ahead there. Okay, so pretty straightforward. Again, this doesn't work as effectively in terms of feeding turn meter to yourself because we don't have that Amplify Agony disc anymore, but it does work pretty nicely with the Zealous Ambition discs equipped and getting the damage. Okay. So this is the boss. I'm going to show you this a few times over on my account and on Professor X's. So the first one I want to show you is Professor X's account. You can see he's got 3 Zealous Ambition discs equipped. We've got a blind side on there. There's just a lot of damage coming from healers and supports. And one of the feats on this boss node is to win without using any attackers in the squad, which is fantastic if we have Zealous Ambition equipped, because we're going to take a squad full of basically support. This is my absolute favorite no attackers team, Padme with just her Galactic Republic friends. So I always take Yoda, R2, and Shock with her, and then I like to take GK for a tank. So none of these are attackers. And if you just have a quick double look, you can see Padme support, tank. So we're all set, which means that everyone except for GK is going to take so much advantage of those Zealous Ambition discs. It's absolutely beautiful. And again, you have to do this boss twice for both feats, because winning with Princess Leia surviving, she's an attacker, so you can't double dip here. Okay, so this one is kind of like those really weird galactic challenges we do where they keep reviving, except that instead of counting down from 10, we're counting up to 10. And yeah, so you basically can kill them off. As you can see, they do a ton of damage from Zealous Ambition. It is fantastic. And once they hit 10, whoever you've killed revives again. The good news is only one will revive at a time. So if you've killed multiples, only one of them will revive when you get to 10, which is great. It's a little bit tedious in terms of timing, but at least you're not getting a full board of enemies back every single time here. And again, Zealous Ambition is doing all of the work, and you're basically able to practically one-shot these characters with them because they just do so much damage from this disc. It's insane. All right. So that is absolutely my favorite no attacker team. I use it even just in the regular sectors when you don't need attackers. It's Beautiful. So that is that done. And then we can have a look at my account here. Okay, so as you can see, I have not been as fortunate in my disc selection or disc choices as Professor X. I have had absolutely 0 zealous ambition pop up. So I've basically just been trying to stack these ruthless offense. I've gotten an entrenched. It's not a good selection. And you can see we're just gonna, I don't even have one coming up afterwards. So it's just not, it's not a good disc selection. But I do want to do the no attackers feat on my own account. And one of the other really fun things you can do is you can actually double dip for a full Jedi team of no attackers. So if you take Jedi Master Luke, you can take Shock, Grandmaster Yoda, Hermit Yoda, and General Kenobi. You're going to double dip for your full Jedi wins, and then you're also going to be able to dip on calling Kenobi for the kills there, which works out really nicely. So that's another thing you can be doing if you're trying to take advantage of doing as many feats as possible, basically, in one battle. And it's pretty much very, very straightforward. Trying to kill them as quickly as possible, obviously, just because we don't want to drag the battle on too long. But essentially all I do is repeatedly call General Kenobi to assist, because I want him to get the kills since we're bringing him along with us anyway. So I'm going to fast forward this a little bit as well. But like I said, calling Kenobi to assist because we want him to land all of those kills, and then essentially just eventually you'll be able to kill everybody off because you've gotten them worked down enough that you're able to do enough damage and kill them off one by one. Obviously, it takes a little bit longer here when you're not able to do quite as much damage if you don't have those right discs, essentially. But the good news is we do have that ruthless offense, so we're hitting a little bit harder. It's just taking a bit longer for it to build, sadly. But totally doable. And again, this is nice because you're getting the feat for the boss node. You're getting a tick towards your 40 Jedi wins, and you're getting a tick towards the Kenobi kills that you need to be working on as well in the global feats. So really nice to triple dip in that way. All right, let's have a look at the final boss again, and we want to win now with Princess Leia surviving. I didn't want to use a Galactic Legend because I know that that's not necessarily the option for everybody. It would normally be my go-to, but I wanted to try to think of something that would work without a Galactic Legend. So this is on my account. I did finally get one white Zealous Ambition disc at the start of Sector 3, so I equipped that right away. But essentially what I chose to do, because I have Zealous Ambition, I wanted to take Dash lead instead of Bam. I thought this might be a little bit dicey, but I really wanted Dash for his damage output from the Zealous Ambition, and then Han just to kind of get the ball rolling in terms of stunning somebody, and Ben, Leia, and Luke so I could work on those 2 global feats at the same time here. And what really matters is that Leia survives so we can get the feat for the boss, but also that old Ben survives so we can get the feat for those 2 global feats in particular. So obviously they are taking turns. Like, this isn't like the Bam cheese at all, but Dash's AoE is super great just in terms of knocking the enemies out here. And Han is great again because of his turn meter removal. We can at least stun sometimes. We can remove a little bit of turn meter and kind of keep everyone there. I chose to do the first special from Dash to dispel that taunt so I could go back around and try to target people who were close to dying, or target people with Han that were going to take a turn next to remove their turn meter. So a lot of it was about control, because again, I'm trying to compensate for the fact that we don't have Amplify Agony anymore. So overall, I think this worked really well. The fact that Luke survived, I did not expect Luke to survive. I will be totally honest with you. He's Gear 9. I expected to lose him, and he survived. So I think it worked nicely. Okay, yeah, so that is it for this sector. As you can see, I didn't have the best optimal enemy teams to do some of these feats to really cheese out, particularly the Inquisitor wins. I think if you can get your hands on a Geonosian node, maybe even a Mon Mothma node, depending on what the lineup is, anything where you have more of them attacking out of turn to kind of feed off of that Traya lead, it would be tons of fun. So that's probably what I would do there differently. But again, I didn't find those enemies in my own run or in Professor X's. So it's a little bit tricky, but it is doable, which is what counts. And you can do it with lower characters, which is also what counts. Definitely Zealous Ambition is a huge disc. I am absolutely loving it this Conquest. I normally pick it up anyway, but it is proving to be really important with Amplify Agony being gone now, just to make sure you're hitting even harder and getting those kills in. All right, guys, that is pretty much it for Sector 2, and I will see you tomorrow for Sector 3.